Coming this fall from SJS Direct, Easting the Sands of Time. It's action, adventure, and romance in ancient Egypt in this fantasy flashback Easting series adventure. Pre-order Easting the Sands of Time today on Amazon.com. Chile, one of the members of the R&B group TLC, has proposed that Afro-American Negro women date outside of their race. And like Issa Rae before her, she is now proposing that Afro-American Negro females go out here and try to pursue relationships with Asian men. Now, this is one of the most mind-boggling concepts that another Afro-American Negro woman has proposed, because when we take a critical look at Asian men, they clearly have no interest in this Afro-American Negro female. Now, when it comes down to Asian men, in most cases, they're more interested in their own women, or if they do date outside of their race, they're more interested in white women. And they're interested in white women because they are all about economics. Because for the Asian man, it's all about building wealth, and it's all about passing on a wealth to the next generation. And they don't see how the Afro-American Negro female works into their family at all. Because when it comes down to the Asian man, when he takes a look at this Afro-American Negro female, he primarily sees a customer in his store, and in most cases he sees a customer he has absolutely no respect for. Because in many of these Asian stores, like these beauty supply stores and these nail salons, these Asian men have been beating up black women. So why would a group of females go out here looking to have relationships with a group of men who have shown them that they have absolutely no respect for them? That's the critical question many need to ask women like your Chile and women like your Issa Rae, because when you look at these videos of these black women being punched in the face by Asian store owners and being beaten with broomsticks by women in Asian nail salons, and even in some cases, I believe one case, a woman had a gun pulled on her, it's clear that Asian men do not see black women as any sort of interest for a romantic relationship or even an interest for a sexual relationship. All most Asian men see black women, as is a way to make money at their expense. Unfortunately, because the Afro-American Negro woman has low self-esteem, she deifies and worships those who abuse her. And this Asian man who has been beating this woman up, she believes that this is some sort of gesture of love. And that just shows how mentally damaged many of these Afro-American Negro women are. You're going to propose that black women go out here and date men who have been beating up black women, men who have been showing how little respect they have for black women, men who have no regard for black women, and in many cases, men who aren't even thinking about black women outside of the dollars inside of their purses. Because that's what all most Asian men, again, see this Afro-American woman as, is a way to make money. They do not see a black woman as a person they value to have a relationship with. But you cannot explain that to the Chiles or the Issa Raes, because most of these women, they're just completely screwed up in the head. And what's sad is they're continuing to perpetuate screwed up ideas to other black women out there regarding these Asian men. Because if these Asian men were so into black women, they would be featuring black women in their magazines, they would be featuring black women in their TV shows, and they would be featuring black women in their media. And when I look at their media, like their K-pop shows or their other TV shows, I don't see a single black woman in any of those shows. No, oftentimes when I'm looking at Asian media, you will see an Asian woman standing at the side of that Asian man or in some rare cases, you will see that Asian man with a white woman. You will not see him even thinking about considering a black woman. In most cases, like they are doing in Africa, most of the Chinese men, they just fool around with the black woman, and then they abandon her with a biracial baby to take care of. They could care less about this Afro-American Negro woman, but what's sad is she will put this man on a pedestal and worship him, even though, again, he has expressed nothing but contempt for her. And that shows how deep the self-hatred lies in this Afro-American Negro female when you have celebrity Negro women sitting there advocating for black women to go out here and pursue relationships with men who have expressed nothing but contempt for this woman. Because if a man will sit there and ball up a fist and hit a black woman in the face, and she then goes back to his store to shop, it shows that she is not someone who is thinking in a healthy and rational fashion. Because only a codependent female is going to go seek out a man who is going to abuse her, or a group of men who have absolutely no interest in her, and only a desperate female like your Issa Rae or your Chili from TLC is going to seek out these kind of guys because they know that their dating options have completely fallen through, and they're so desperate for attention, they'll make these statements in the hopes of trying to get some beta males in the Asian community to pay attention to them. But the only reason why those guys would pay attention to these rich women like Issa Rae and Chili is because those women have resources. But the average everyday Afro-American Negro female, she'll sit there and listen to this nonsense, believing that she has a chance with an Asian man, but there is no chance with an Asian man. What's going to happen to many of these females is that they don't see that when it comes down to the Asian men they're trying to pursue, they're going to be all beta males, they're all going to be broke males, and they're all going to be dusty males, just like the Afro-American Negroes in their community. And those guys are only going to pursue her because she has resources. And once they use her resources to elevate themselves to a higher level, and they get their economic game together, oftentimes those Asian men will discard that Afro-American Negro female and then go out here and either pursue a white female or an Asian female and then build their wealth with that woman and then have children with that woman and then have their legacy with that woman. Because once they go and use her as a springboard, they then will go build their economic platform with that white woman or that Asian woman. But the Afro-American Negro woman, she buys into this propaganda believing she can go out here and pursue these men, but these men have no interest in her, again, outside of the economic resources she has. So if she does not have any money, most of these Asian men just don't care about her. Because when it comes down to, again, to Asian men and relationships, they are all about economics. And even the beta males are about economics. So when they see a black woman, they just see dollars, and it only makes sense for them to get involved with black women who have dollars because it's all about building themselves up. But you cannot tell this to the Afro-American Negro female who's sitting there talking about dating outside of her race with people who do not value her as a person. Because all of the Asian men who come to the black community, in most cases, these are men who cannot make it in their own communities. They cannot build businesses in their own communities. So these parasites have to come to the black community because they cannot make a living in their own communities, and they cannot find women to have relationships with in their own communities. These are the beta males, these are the omega males, but the Afro-American Negro woman, because she has the lowest self-esteem out of all women, she will value them as alpha males and then wind up getting played in the same way she does get played by these Afro-American Negro, dusty Negroes she gets involved with, because she doesn't understand that she needs to judge a man by the content of his character, not the color of his skin. And because she judges a man by the color of his skin, she winds up getting burnt by the same men over and over again, because it doesn't matter what the color of those men are. They all have the same character that she has, which is low, tarnished, and dysfunctional, because she comes from a whole dysfunctional mindset. And because she comes from a whole dysfunctional mindset, she believes that she can date outside of her race, not understanding she is getting the same man, but in a completely different color. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct Men's Issues books, you may do so by clicking a link to Amazon.com in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.